everybody, and welcome to Storm Reads. And today I'm going to kind of do a what I've read, currently reading, and maybe what's next type of video. I was off to a rough start this month. I was pretty sick the first week, and it took half of the second week for me to really get back into the swing of things. So I haven't read a whole lot. I was really hoping to read a lot for both March Mystery Madness and Middle Grade March, but it's just not happening. And that's okay. It happens. I have read 4 books so far, and so I thought I would talk about them. Only one of them doesn't really count for either of those readathons, but it was a buddy read. And so the first one is Death by Dumplings by Vivian Chen. And this one was a kind of buddy read along with a group hosted by the Bookish Bryants, Scott and Becky. We wanted to read a cozy mystery together, and it was kind of a bummer because I was sick during the first week when we were supposed to be doing the read along, but I managed to get it in there, even though I was a few days late, but hey, at least I got it read. And it was about Lana Lee, who works in her parents' restaurant, and when a man dies after she delivers his food because he's allergic to shrimp, and the dumplings evidently had shrimp in them, then she is kind of put in the limelight along with Peter, who is the cook. And the policeman thinks that, they could have had something to do with it. So she gets involved in trying to solve the murder. And it was a lot of fun. It's the first in the noodle shop mystery. And so for a first book in a series, I thought it was pretty good. I really liked Lana. Sometimes she was a little over the top, but for the most part, I really enjoyed her. And I gave the book 4 stars. And then the next book that I read is Shelter Mountain by Robin Carr, which is the second book in the Virgin River series. Me and my friend Barb are buddy reading this, and we read the first one and we really liked it, and then we found out that the second one was about a preacher who is one of our favorite characters off of the Netflix series, so we decided to go ahead and read the second one in the series to see how it would go. And it was quite a bit different than the preacher portrayed on the Netflix series. These romances are quite a bit more fluffy and kind of cutesy and nice compared to the drama that is on the screen on the Netflix show. I don't know what on earth they are doing there, but they're totally different. Anyway, it was an enjoyable romance, and it's about John Preacher Middleton, and he goes out of his way to help Paige and her son when one day or night they end up in his in the bar and grill that he works at, and he can tell right away that something's not right. She's running from something. She's got a busted lip, and she just, some bruises and stuff, and he knows that whatever has brought her there, he feels this really deep need to protect her, and ends up talking her into staying in Virgin River because she was going to leave. But the longer he stays there, the more, of course, he gets to know her, and of course there will be romance. It was just a lot different than the portrayal of Preacher on the TV show. This preacher here, he is not a very big ladies' man, and he's a little awkward around women and everything, so it was kind of funny. But actually, at sometimes it was just a little bit annoying, because it was like a wake-up preacher. Look, this lady likes you, and stuff. So it's a good thing he has good friends like Jack and Mike to kind of push him along. But overall, I enjoyed it, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. And I am excited to continue on with the series, and me and my friend will. But we don't want to get burned out on romance. And there's like 20 books in the series, so we are going to just kind of take our time. And so next month we won't be reading one of the Virgin Rivers. We're going to try a different series and just kind of flip-flop in between them. But yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it. And then the next one was The Bickery Twins and the Phoenix Tear by Abbey Effenstone. I think that's how you say it. And this is the second in the Unmapped Chronicle series. And let me tell you, at first I wasn't sure if I was going to like this book, because it is about twins Fox and Fibber. And they're horrible, but they are raised by horrible parents, and there is a reason why they're horrible. Their parents pit them against each other, and each parent has a corporation that they run, but they're horrible at it, and the reason they sell bad products to get money, and it's kind of catching up with them. So they're wanting Fox and Fibber to figure out a better way to make these companies run so they can make more money, and they think it's best to pit the twins against each other. So they are always trying to outdo the other, and they're lying and they scheme, and they are always been told that they should stamp on people before they get stamped on, and they're just horrible. And for a good part of the book, especially Fox, she just really drove me crazy, and I just wanted to reach in and smack her. But they find a Phoenix Tear, and ultimately they end up on a train that takes them to Jungle Drop, which is where their adventure takes place. And when they get there, they find out that there is these places called the unmapped places, like Jungle Drop and Rumble Star and all these different places, but in each place they make something different. And in Jungle Drop, they make rain. They use these berries to make these like scribe deals that has the rain on them that they send to the far away. And the far away is, they learn, is where they're from. That is, you know, Earth or whatever is the far away. And far away is in a drought right now because Jungle Drop is not able to make rain, because Marg, the harpy, that's the evil thing that you learn about in the first book, and then she's in this one too. But she's a horrible harpy and evil, and she has taken all of the berries that they use to make the maps with, and so they can't make any maps, rain maps and stuff, so therefore the far away is in a drought. And the lufty husk are a excuse me, are a group of, they're like really big creatures that can talk, and they kind of rule the place. And Golden Paw is one, and they're excited that there's heroes from the far away have come again. Every time they need something, a hero from the far away always ends up making it to them. And they're so excited that they've got two, because they've got the twins. But they quickly learn that they're maybe not quite the heroes that they thought they were gonna be. And kind of wondering, you know, how they ended up being there in the first place. But, of course, along the way, trying to find the forever fern that they need to do to defeat the harpy or whatever, they do learn their lesson a bit and everything, and do become a little bit more enjoyable. So this could have been a 3-star read, but it ended up being a 4-star read because I really did end up enjoying it. I knew there was going to be a part in there where Fox, and it's mostly Fox who learns a lesson, because Fibber wasn't really that bad. He already had started kind of changing his ways before they actually got there, so he wasn't really that bad. And then something happens to him because of his sister, and so yeah, that was kind of funny. But that's also when she actually learns her lesson about some things. But yeah, it was pretty cute. I like the first one better, with Casper Talk and the think it was the Everdark Wings, I think is what that one was called. I really enjoyed it a whole lot more than this one, but it was still pretty enjoyable. And then the last book I read, I actually listened to, and it was Miss Frisbee and the Rats of Nymph by Robert C. O'Brien. And if you've ever seen the cartoon, then the book was pretty much exactly like the cartoon. It's been years since I've seen the cartoon, but it all come flooding back when I started listening to it. It's about Miss Frisbee, and she is a single parent mouse, and she has, I think 3 or 4 kids. And one of them, Timothy, is really, really sick, and they're needing to move because it's getting close to harvest time, and where their house is, it's in the middle of this field, and the farmer will come through and destroy their house, and they need to move. But Timothy is really, really sick, and he's got pneumonia, and so she's been told that he shouldn't be moved because if he gets any worse, he could die. And so she's very upset and doesn't know what to do. Well, one day she ends up saving a young crow, and that crow tells her about this wise old owl and how he might be able to help. So she goes in search of the owl, and she is told about the rats of Nymph. These rats are like these very, very special rats, and you learn why they are the way they are and what Nymph is. And some of that was a little bit too much information on what happened and how the rats become who they were. But overall, it was a cute story. That one I read for the decade I was born. Is one of the prompts for the middle grade March. And that one is from sometime in the 70s. I can't remember. But I was born in 75, so I picked that book because it was a 70s book. And it was cute. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. So, I mean, I'm off to a pretty good start this month. Everything that I've read so far, I've given 4 stars to. The Bickery Twins, if I can't get to the one book that I was going to read for this prompt, I'm going to use it for the journey prompt since they did go on a journey. But I do have another one picked out for that, but we'll just have to see how the rest of the month goes. And speaking of what I'm reading for the rest of the month, I'm reading right now a book that's not either for either of those readathons, but it is a buddy read. And it's Your Turn to Suffer by Tim Wagner. And I will tell you right now, I am 22% into it, and I'm not feeling it. I really liked Tim Wagner. 2 of the books I've read by Tim Wagner, but the last book I read from him ended up on my least favorite books of last year. And this one is headed towards that way too. And I'm just thinking that maybe he's not an author that I'm going to be enjoying. He's really weird, and he writes really weird horror fiction, but some of it's just a little too out there. And right now, it's so confusing, and it's so boring, and I don't like it when books don't make sense. If a book doesn't make sense to me, then I have no reason to want to continue, even if I know at the end it's probably going to make a little bit more sense. And I know this one is kind of a psychological thing, but it just, I don't know, I'm not liking it. My friend has read a little bit more than I have, and she's not helping me out any with encouragement on it getting any better. I'll give it a little bit more, but this one could end up being a DNF. Just calling it right now, it could be. But I'm going to really give it a good go because I am buddy reading it with my friend, but she knows me and I have DNF'd buddy reads before, so I don't feel bad about it. But yeah, it's not going where I wanted it to go. I'm also reading Jane Austen Investigates. It's an Abbey mystery by Julia Golding. And this one is a lot more fun. This one is about a young Jane Austen. And she is sent to be Lady Cromwell's companion for now. Just to kind of be there to just be at her beck and call mainly. And she learns about this Abbey that's there and that's supposed to be haunted. And so her interest is piqued because she knows she likes to write and put things down. And her brother give her a goal of trying to find the ghost, and if he did, then he would like give her like a shilling when she got home or whatever. And so she's determined that she's going to figure it out. And so I'm 51% into that one, and so far I'm enjoying it. It's pretty good. And I'm also listening to Sweepy by JC Scoozy. I'm not sure if I'm saying that last name right. And it's about a teenage serial killer, and I'm not very far into it, so I don't have a big opinion about it, but it's okay so far. It's just basically been about her and kind of some of the reasons why she likes to think about killing people and stuff. And so I'm hoping it's going to get better, but so far it's just okay. And then once I get those done, I am hoping to get to Later by Stephen King. This one, even though it's a Stephen King novel, it's a hard case crime novel, so it fits in with March Mystery Madness at least. And I am also buddy reading this with my friend, and she really loves Stephen King. So remember in my TBR I said my friend was sending me a book and I didn't know what the book was, and that you guys would find out what the book was kind of when I did? This is it. She sent me Later by Stephen King. So we will be reading this, and I don't know really anything about it, except for that it's a crime novel from Stephen King, and I've only read one other book from him that was kind of like a crime novelish, and that was The Outsider, and I liked it, so I'm hoping I'm going to like this one, and it's not real thick, so I like that. And also, another middle grade book that I'm going to be reading is Across the Pond by Joy McCulloch, and it is a middle grade contemporary about a young girl who isn't having a good time, and she gets sent to Scotland, so she thinks she can kind of reinvent herself while she's there, but things don't go quite her way, and so she asks her parents if it's okay if she's homeschooled. And her parents said that that would be okay, but she has to involve herself into some like after school like activities, some kind of activities to be involved in. And she decides to start a birding club. And so I'm hoping it's going to be pretty interesting. I liked the other book that I've read by this author called, what was it called? A Field Guide to Getting Lost. And it was a middle grade contemporary too. And so I thought, since I like that one, that maybe I'll like this one, so we'll give it a try and see what happens. And yeah, so that's what I've read, what I'm currently reading, and what I'm hoping to get to. And I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.